So let's understand the overview. So what are the
Okay.
different topics we can handle in the MM? Okay, and
Okay.
um, and how you are going to manage your business. Here, most of the things is you need to understand how your business is um, giving a requirement and how you are converting with respect to of the SAP. So generally, any enterprise organization, okay, so they have three types of data. One is a configuration data, another one is a transaction data, another is a master
Mm-hmm.
data.
Okay.
Okay. So in the configuration data, so generally this configuration data, first we are going to deal with the organization data. Okay. So this organization or enterprise structure been different ways: company code, purchase organization, plant, and the storage location. Okay. So
Okay.
these company and company code both are much more related to the financial representation of any organization. Okay. And the purchase organization is
Oh.
okay. So profit and loss, different chart of accounts and different currencies. That all financial
Uh-huh.
related transactions you are going to handle in the company and the company code level. Next is a purchase organization. Okay, so this purchase organization is a mm, kind of a enterprise element which mainly deals with the procurement of material. These guys, people will be there for the negotiations of the prices and contracts. Okay, so that kind of all things can be
Okay.
handled by the purchase organization. Okay. So the next
Okay.
one is the plant. So generally, most of our operationals can be happens in the plant. Okay. So what does it mean by plant over here? So plant is a it is a organizational element or it is a place where you are going to handle the procurement of material or manufacturing of this material or production of these materials and stock keeping unit. Okay, so these all
Oh.
things we are going to handle in the plant. So the purchasing activities you can see here, the sales activities you can see here, and production planning activities you are going to see here. So all those things we are going to see in the plant. Okay, so the next is a storage location. Okay, so next is a storage location. Okay, the storage location is
Okay.
a place where you can store the material.
Okay.
Okay, so generally once the production is happen, if you want to keep the um, stock, okay, in one particular location, then it is called as a stock keeping unit. That called as a storage location. Okay, so this company and company code generally handled by the finance guys. Okay, the purchasing organization, plant and storage locations, we are going to handle at the organization element level. Okay, so this is about thing. Okay, so after the storage location also we have the storage type and bin. Okay, storage area. This all will come under the warehouse management.
Uh,
Okay, so this is about how we are going to handle this one, and now you can see the organization structure. Okay, so you have company and company codes and purchase organization and plans, and you have the storage locations, and you can see the purchase organization. This purchase organization will be three different ways of business uses. Okay, so if the plant, I mean the purchase organization specific to the plant, then it is called as a plant specific purchase organization. If the purchase organization is related to the multiple plants, then it is called as a cross plant purchase organization and central purchase organization. Okay, so this is about how the organization
Okay.
structure we are going to maintain. So the next is a master data. Okay, so this master data, um, um, so the data, like, it is a masterpiece for your organization or production. Okay, so data which is stored for a long time and not changed frequently, which we call as a master data. Okay, so what are the different things will be available in the material master data? Okay, so in the master data we have
Okay.
material master, okay, and vendor master, and info record, and source list. Okay, so
Okay.
these are the different and one more master we have as a quota master also. Okay, so after that in the material master, what are the different things will be there? Okay, so in the material master, like for example, if you consider about the folder, so you have the manufacturing unit. Okay, to make the finished product. So what
Mm,
is your finished product? For example, you consider it is a car. Car is your final product.
mm,
Okay. To manufacturing the
yes.
car, so what are the things you need? You need the different finished materials and different raw materials and different semi-finished and packaging materials. Okay, so there are the
Yes.
different kinds of the materials you need. Okay, so here this material master can segregate for the different material types like raw materials, semi-finished, finished materials. Okay, so SAP given
Okay.
standard material type around 40 plus different types of the materials we are going to use here. Next is a control functions of material master. Okay. So what are the control functions like material type and industry sector? Hmm. So the material type is nothing but it is a raw material or semi-finished or finished material. And the industry
Okay.
sector means SAP given a segregation like industry sector means it is a which kind of industry, like it is a manufacturing, it is a pharma, it is a chemical. So that kind of segregations we are handling at the industry sector level. Okay,
Okay.
so this is about the material. So here we are going to learn like the configuration, the standard configuration, how you are going to do, and you are going to do how to create the materials like one by one. If you want to create the materials like massively, how you are going to create it. So these things will have in the material master. So similarly,
Mm,
we have the vendor. Okay. So vendor is a person or organizations who supplies the materials or service to the plant. Okay. Similarly, vendor master, we have the control functions like accounting group and purchase organizations. Okay. So if we do in the ECC, then we'll call as a vendor master. If we are migrating to the S4 HANA, the same vendor we'll call it as a business partner. Okay,
okay.
so that is a thing here. And the next is info record. So info record is a combination. We are going to maintain the latest prices. Okay, so latest price of the particular material and plant combination. Okay,
Okay.
so here you can maintain the all the latest price of the particular material and the vendor combination. And this is a one-time activity. Once you're done, depends on your transactions, like how many orders you create to the particular vendor. Respect of that, what will happen? The info record will be maintained. Okay, automatically updated in the system. Okay, so then info records, we have the different types. We have the standard info record, we have the subcontracting info record, we have the consignment info record, we have the pipeline. So these are the info records can be differentiated based on the process. Okay, so what kind of process you are going to handle, respect of that info record can be managed over here. Okay, so the next is a
Okay.
source list. Okay, so the source list is it is a list of available source of supply of material. Like For example, I want to procure some um, sounding system to the my Ford. I mean that car. Okay, so the same material you can purchase from the different
Okay.
vendors. Okay, so for example, sound system is there that you can purchase from Sony, Arman, and you can purchase from the LG. Okay, so there is a different multiple vendors
Mhm.
is available for the procurement of that particular material. But you want to know how many vendors is available. So if you maintain the info record, and automatically the system will provide the list of the particular material, how many vendors are going to supply this material. Okay, and next is
Okay.
a quota. So it is like, for example, dividing the ask. I mean, so for example, I need 100 quantity. I need some material, but at a time, so what you will decide is companies won't rely on the single vendor. Okay, so they plan for the different vendors. Okay, so dividing the task, or like for example, I have 100 quantity requirement. So what I'll do, I'll give 50 quantity to the one vendor, and 25 quantity to the another vendor, and 25 quantity to the another vendor. Okay, so that is the way how we are going to handle the quota. Okay, so just dividing the ask to the multiple vendors because of the business continuity. Okay, so and these are the different masters we are going to handle in the material management. So the next is the procurement cycles. So in the material management, the main core cycle is procurement. Generally, we'll call it as a P2P cycle. Okay. So how this procurement starts generally? Okay. So the procurement starts when there is a requirements. Okay. So these requirements can be handled by through the MRP or manual requirement creating. Who will create this requirement? So generally, production planning guys do this material planning. Okay, for the production of this material. Okay, so either this can be auto, or this
Mm.
can be done in the automatically through MRP. Okay, so once they run the MRP, so what is happen? Automatically systems creates the requirements. Okay, so once you get the requirements,
Okay.
okay, then they will hand out to the purchasing departments. We want to procure so and so material. Okay, so if they know the vendor,
Okay.
okay, directly they will create a order. Okay, but sometimes what happens, they don't know whom they need to procure this material. So what these guys will do, then they will go for the quotation process. Okay, so quotations or bidding, this process they will go. Okay, so what will happen in the quotation process? They will take quotations from the different vendors, and they maintain the quotations and compare the quotations, and the final selection of the quotations is done, and respect of that they will raise the purchase order. Okay, so
Just this one.
if quotation process is not initiated, I mean, they know for the short term directly they are going to raise a order, or if they want to go for a long term procurement, then they will raise a outline agreement, is called as a contract, and in the contract also they will maintain the price of the material with respect of the contract. They will create a purchase order. Okay. So this order will be created, and the order will be sent to the vendor. Okay.
Oh,
Then order is monitored, and vendor will supply the material, and we used to receive this material. Okay. Goods receipt is done. Then we will do the invoice. Okay. Payments. Okay. So once you done the payment,
okay.
then the P2P cycle will be closed here. So here, so from the procurement to pay, so the whatever the things you're going to handle, so all under will come under the transactions. Okay. So this is about the P2P
Mm.
cycle. Okay. So what are the transaction data you have? So we have the purchase requisitions, we have the request RFQs, and we have the purchase order, we have the outline agreements, and we have the contracts, and we have the service entry sheets. Okay. So what is mean by purchase requisition? So as we understand, it is an internal request, okay, from the one department to another department to raise the requirements, okay, and
Okay.
RFQs. A request for quotations. It is also like a process of quotation of the material. Okay. So request for quotations and quotation maintenance and the finalize quotation and purchase orders. Like it is a request to supply this material, the service of material, how we are going to create this one, what are the different control functions of the orders and all those things we are going to handle over here. Okay. And we can see the contract. So these are all the transaction data. So how we are going to handle the different kinds of the transactions in the system. It is like a value contract, a quantity contract. So all those things we are going to handle. It is a further long-term procurement of the materials. Okay. So the next is a approval mechanism. So that will called as a release process. Okay. So what is mean by a release process? Okay. So a release process is a kind of approving the things here. Okay. So what kind of approval? So generally, if you go for procurement, okay. So what they will do, they won't directly go for the procurement. So they will check. Um, they will check for the prices. For example, so we want to procure so and so material. Okay. So what they will do immediately, they are not interested to handle that directly for the giving a order. So it will be go for the different approval process. For example, I want to procure some so and so wins. Okay. So is it genuinely required or what is the budget about that? Okay, so depends on the budget check, it will be go for the approval mechanism. So once it is went for the approval and in the organizations, people will be approve like the person who created order. He will approve initially, then it will be then it will be go for the your boss and your boss will be approved. Then it will be go for the finance team and finance team will be approved based on their budget. Okay, so once they
Yes.
all approved, then it will be go for the final procurement of the vendor and the order will be released for the um, vendor. Okay, so this is like how you are going to handle the approval mechanism. Okay, so here the approvals can be happen at a header level and item level. So now most of the organizations going to use header level approval mechanisms. Okay, so this is how we are going to handle that approval process. Okay, so the next one is pricing procedure. This is a core model um, for the calculation of the particular price of the product. Okay, so how the system calculate the price of the final price of the material can be handled in the pricing procedure. So these are the some technical terms in the backend. So it depends on your domestic procurement, depends on your import procurement, the price will be calculated and handled over there. Okay. Okay. So until this topic, we'll call it as a pricing procedure. Okay. So until these topics, we'll call under the concept called as a sourcing and procurement. Okay, so this pricing process is one of the big topic. Okay, it is not like a simple how I told the calculation of this material. The calculation of the material will be depends on a lot of things here. Okay, the final price of this material based on the conditions like the gross price, net price, and on that different prices called as a freight, toll charges. Okay, then taxations will also be impacting the price of this material.
Okay.
Okay, so so next the next topic will be So inventory management. Okay, so these inventory management plays a key role of stock keeping, like how you are going to handle your the material. Okay, so how you want to save this material, how you want to take this material to one location to another thing. So this inventory generally deals with inbound and outbound of the material and the physical inventory. Okay, and stock arrangement and so store how you want to keep the stores of this particular material. All the things will be handled in the inventory management. Okay, so we have the
Okay.
special procurements. Okay, apart from the P2P cycle, there is called as a subcontracting. Okay, so here, as you know, like in
Okay.
subcontracting process, like we will order some material to the so and so vendor, and then we are going to share that materials which will be used for the subcontracting to the so and so vendor, and that vendor is going to change. He going to utilize that material, and he'll convert and share the find material. For example, best example is Kisan Jam. Okay, so generally Unilever is not
Okay.
a manufacturer of the Kisan Jam. Just it is a
Okay.
marketing. So what they will do is they will give a order, like they will give a Kisan Jam order to the so and so manufacturing unit. Okay, but what they will do, they will provide what are the materials required to manufacturing the Kisan Jam. Okay, and they will
Okay.
ask, we want this jam to be fixed in the different packaging units, like 100 grams, 500 grams, 1 kg, all those things. Okay, so what they will
Okay.
do, they will provide everything. They will provide the raw materials and packaging materials, everything to the subcontracting vendor, and that vendor going to convert, and just he gives the finished product. Okay. So what the subcontracting vendor will do, just he will give the fine-tuned product. Okay, and he will take the servicing charge, because the materials and everything is provided by the Unilever, and just the making charges the subcontracting vendor will be charged about this one. Okay, so this kind of process is
Okay.
called as a subcontracting process. And next one is a
Okay.
consignment process. Okay, so consignment is a business process, like where you ordered okay material, but the vendor itself maintain the fine materials in our premises. Okay, so generally you will see in the lubricants, when the production plant is running 24 by 7, you may see anytime the shutdown of the machineries. Okay, or some parts to be replaced immediately. So by that, what we will do, we cannot depend on the third party guy, and factories will maintain directly engineers. Okay. So, but what we will do, we will
Mhm.
keep the materials ready, but we won't pay that particular materials. We will tell to the vendor, whenever I procure this, I mean, whenever I utilize this material, I will do the payment. Until that, I don't do the payment. Okay, even though the material will be there in our premises. Okay.
Okay.
So that kind of process, we will go for the consignments. Okay, next is the returnable transport packaging. This is the best example, like the cylinders. Okay, so like we will take the cylinder, full cylinder, and we will return the empty cylinder back. Okay, so that kind of process
Okay.
we are using the returnable transport packaging. Okay, so the next is the stock transfers. It is a stock transfer between the plant to plant and one company code to another company code, with the three different process, like with the delivery, without delivery, with delivery, and billing. Okay. Next we have the pipeline. So generally the pipeline, we are using the procurement of the pipeline material, like electricity, which you will get the pipeline only. So how you are procure these pipeline materials, that we are going to discuss here. Next is a physical inventory. So it is a checking the stocks, physical stock and book stocks, checking and matching each other. Okay, so that process will called as a physical inventory. Okay, so these are
Okay.
the all the special procurement process we are going to handle there. Next is invoicing. So this invoicing also we have the MM with FI integration. Okay. So, but we need to know like how the invoice postings will be happen here. So generally, how the invoice posting will be happen. So whenever they want to post the invoice, they will consider PO price, GR quantity, and vendor invoice. They will post the invoice. So once they post the invoice, automatically the payments is initiated. Okay, so these are the topics we are going to cover, and one of the hardcore topic is accounting determination. So how the system will understand the GLs, auto debit and credit can handle in the automatic accounting determination. So when you do the posting the transaction, so automatically amount will be debit and credit. And so that things can be work on this entire the diagram. So how the things will be linked to one to another. This will be understand in the logistic part. So here, see, if you see here, half of the part we will handle, half the part accounting team will be handled. It is like a handshake always.
Okay.
So we need to know, but most of the things, I mean, finance team will be handled. So these are the topics we are going to cover in our entire training sessions. Apart from that, some legacy tools like how you can upload the data from one system to another system. And how we can handle the delivery of the project. So that project delivery will how we need to handle.
Okay.
So that we will discuss in our sessions.